In this topic, students explore the Pythagorean Theorem and apply the Pythagorean Theorem to solve real-world or mathematical problems. To develop an understanding of the Pythagorean Theorem, students use the area of a square to investigate and prove the Pythagorean Theorem. In the figure, we can see that the squares are congruent, with all sides being a plus b. In one square, we see that the square is partitioned into a square with an area of c squared and 4 congruent triangles. In the other square, we see that the square is partitioned into a large square with an area of b squared and a small square with an area of a squared and 4 congruent triangles. Notice that all triangles in both squares are congruent. If we remove the triangles from both squares, we see the same number of congruent triangles are removed from both squares. Once these triangles are removed in one square, a square with an area of c squared is left. In the other square, 2 squares remain, one with an area of a squared and one with an area of b squared. Consequently, c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. Students also explore the converse of the Pythagorean Theorem, investigating which combination of side lengths ensure a right triangle. Later, students apply the Pythagorean Theorem in real-world contexts. For example, they use the Pythagorean Theorem to find the missing lengths in the rectangular prism. Using the Pythagorean Theorem, students will solve for s by first writing the equation s squared is equal to 10 and 5/10 squared plus 3 squared. After finding the value of s, students can apply the Pythagorean Theorem again to solve for r. Students also use the Pythagorean Theorem to find the distance between 2 points on a coordinate plane and use the distance to find a missing coordinate. Students also extend their knowledge of the Pythagorean Theorem to find the perimeter of a figure. The use of the Pythagorean Theorem is used throughout this topic. First, students develop an understanding of the Pythagorean Theorem. Then, they apply it to solve problems in a real-world context.